we are live. Um, but yeah, this week is the Four Spades. I think Madeline should be joining us pretty soon. I didn't speak with her this week, but it is a Four Spades. And when is Halloween? Is it towards the end of this week or is it
Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Tuesday? Next Tuesday? Okay, so we'll be in the Five of Spades week by then. But other than that, I do feel the essence of Halloween. I
Do you?
don't know why. Um, yeah, in California, they are very expressive about the Day of the Dead, uh,
Hmm.
as they call it. And they start putting out all the decorations and I don't know if you ever seen that movie, not Enchanter, but what's the other one where
Coco,
Coco, is that the one where the grandmother passes and
and
she
he plays the guitar, and his father, yeah. Like I think the grandmother passes in the beginning. I think Coco was very much, I think, about the Day of the Dead and how they, um, even though they leave in the flesh, they're still there, and how he went between the worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Coco. Actually, I think they're watching that in my youngest daughter's school, possibly on Halloween too.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So they really celebrate that here, which is weird. I don't think would have ever thought in the past, like maybe previous 2 to 3 years, that we would be celebrating or looking at esoteric sciences like in Disney and movies. But they are very expressive these days as it comes to like those type of concepts. So it makes it very interesting. I was trying to show the background a little bit, show the spread a little bit, but you can see just the supportive cards. But yeah, so the Four Spades kind of reminds me of that energy. I think of like the Day of the Dead, or the Day of the Ancestors. Um, and so all the decorations are out. I'm like, oh, it's almost time for Halloween. And the Four Spades in itself sits Jupiter, Venus, of course. So I think it deals with like family relationships, and honoring those type of relationships as well, because there's a sense of spirituality, I think, and wisdom that comes from like the Jupiter and Venus. And Venus is actually considered one of the most like a spiritually in-depth planets as well. It's not really said or spoken about, or people don't look at it outside of like the beauty and like fashion and all of those type of aspects. But there's a spiritual devotion, I think, that comes from like that Venus placement. So I think it's like, for me, that's what I've been thinking about all week and looking at and the way they put up so at the entrances of the school they put up references to like ancestors and the Day of the Dead. And I think it's dope, because I don't think I've never seen that before. Have you ever seen that before?
What, the decorations and stuff?
Yeah, like reverence to like the Day of the Dead and like to memorials and stuff like that in the entrances of school, because that's also another thing where you do reverences and things of spirituality at the entrance of your doorway.
Hmm.
Like when
Hmm.
someone or at the entrance of your home is probably where your what would you call it? What is it called? Your gosh, can't believe I'm forgetting it right now. um Altar.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like, why am I having a problem with that? Yeah, where your altar is. Um, so yeah, it's like giving reference to your altar at the entrance of your house. So at the entrance of entrances of school in California, and a lot of them, like I've been to a lot of like different schools because I'm like I help out with different students, and now I'm a sub. You'll see a altar at the entrance of the school,
I'm not
which is
surprised over there. You mean you're right, near like South America. I mean, sorry. Well, yeah, like
Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah, South America. Yeah.
Yeah, so you like that, that's very cultural for them. They honor that.
Mm-hmm.
It is a big part of their culture. So I'm not surprised that out in California that would be like that. And when I look at it too, like to me, it's just honoring your ancestors, your family, you know, because truthfully, they are kind of on that other side, working for you or helping you, guiding you. It's like honoring your guides, honoring your spirits, honoring your higher self, because essentially they're all, working for you. And I'll say probably more recently, I've, gotten more into that space, how I grew up. In the Catholic religion, there was you lit the candles. And so it's just kind of different forms of it. You know what I mean? Where, in different practices, it's a whole, like, you're bringing things and you're leaving things and light things. And, it's honoring the energy of, the people who at one point were here and passed on and are part of you, and they live within you, around you. And I think it's just recognizing that and honoring that, and I think it's actually, a pretty powerful thing. And what I found really interesting when I was really like starting out in the cards, that Halloween was a 4 of hearts. I was like, huh? That's not how I would have pictured the 4 of hearts. But when you think about it, and the ancestors and the fourth house is the family, the lineage. So it makes sense.
Yeah, and the 4 of spades,
supported by that 4 of hearts. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supported by the 4 of hearts. And we always say that the ace of spades can see dead people, and sometimes
Ace of spades, queen of clubs, 6 of clubs. Those are my picks for the ones that are real. It could, easily come to them.
You said ace of spades, 4 of clubs,
queen of clubs, 6 of clubs are my they see dead people cards. So if you're not that card, but you have that card in your spread, it's a, very possible.
You said 6 of clubs too also?
Yeah, I think the 6 of clubs, yeah. Because I've had different experiences with that card. It was my daily card, and had experiences. So that's why I was like, kind of like bringing things back from the past, and being able to communicate those. And also, too, when you think about the 6 of clubs, it is about going within and listening to the messages. Messages can come in so many different forms. Maybe you talk to animals. Maybe it's animals that bring you messages. Maybe it's numbers that bring you messages. Maybe it's all of the things that bring you messages. You know what I mean?
And the 6 of clubs transforms into the ace of spades, right?
So there you go. And the queen of clubs Jupiter card is the ace of spades. So that connection, I wholeheartedly believe that they're very, very strong medium type energies.
And so looking at the ace of spades, it 6 Mercury, Neptune, and the 4 of hearts, 6 Mercury, Neptune.
Huh? Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said the ace of spades 6 Mercury, Neptune, and the 4 of hearts 6 Mercury.
Opposite, right?
Opposition. So both of them have that same. So when I look at the 4 of hearts, I see the ace of spades in a maybe more family dedicated with the 4 of hearts, but or more protective, I would say, maybe from the family, even if they're not like, oh, let's have this reunion. They like protect the child, or protect me as a mother, or in essence of building that family, or trying to even have that balance of family and wealth, and trying to be responsible in some type of way. The ace of spades, I don't know, maybe not. There may be a little different motive there, which is why the opposition, right? But hello, Madeline. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm well. I definitely just woke up. I got a tickle out of, I've had experiences with that, because I think experiences is a funny word, and I was giggling about that. Like, experiences, huh?
Like for real. It was
Yeah.
they were right there, yo. Like that was some incredible stuff. And then after the fact, I went and I didn't even know that my card that day was the 6 of clubs. And when I saw that, I literally almost fell out my chair. I was like, whoa. Because it was super strong.
And what I also heard, what, I was listening, I was just getting my face washed and stuff. The other part that touched me was how, when I grew up Catholic and such, it was All Souls Day. It was November 1st, right? And so that was another thing where it's like you could connect to the souls of those that passed before you. Like the veil was thinner. Do you know what I mean? Like this is the language that was used, who's to say? And it also makes sense that as you go out of the fall and the harvest and into the winter, that there'd be a time to connect to what you came from and what you're part of, and like what helped make your life here what it is. And the whole altar thing, and putting up your ancestors and thanking them for the life that they, lived to bring you to this life, right? It's kind of like what card played what hand to get you to play the hand you're playing.
Yep. Absolutely. And what's interesting, November 1st is a 6 of Diamonds Day.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So, and that's All Souls Day, or day, depending on, where you are. And what is their karma cards? Is the 3 of Spades and the 9 of Clubs. Interesting. So, and it sits behind the 4 of Spades too. And it sits kind of above in that 4 of Heart. There's that I think there's with that Mercury, it's like being able to communicate. You know what I mean? It's like, being able to communicate. So I think it's just fascinating how that kind of lines up.
Yeah. So November 1st is the official day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from what, and it was November 1st.
Well, All Souls Day, Halloween. I mean, I don't know. It's like everything opened up on Halloween, so the spirits.
Yeah.
But think of how it got turned into this like thing, right? Because basically, it's like a time for stillness where you can listen to the wisdom and feel the interconnection. And we're filling ourselves up with candy and changing on what we look like so that nobody sees us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
You saying what way?
Well, we're filling up with sugar and we're putting on masks so we don't get seen or scared when the spirits come, right? Like, because it's all about the veil being thinner and being able to connect to the oneness in a way, like, because the fact that someone else still lives after we live is part of the whole idea of oneness.
Yeah. And I also don't think it's much as us being filled up. I think it's so for me and my lessons around altar creation, I've never studied a book only by my aunt, who is a 7 of Hearts Capricorn. So the day before Christmas, she introduced me to her spiritual friend that actually can see like past the veil, right? Who can see the psychic, and she can also see like dead people, who she also passed those gifts down to her daughter, who can see people that have passed on, and her son astro projects like when he sleeps. So it's like it's really spiritual family, like, so I wouldn't say that I believed or seen anything like that before her, but her explanation of what the altar was for was to connect with those people that have passed on. And the way that you connect with them is you leave out things that they desired and they found pleasure in within the physical form. So like my grandmother loved a certain type of alcohol, and she and my aunt loved gum. Like every time I seen her, she had a pack of chewing gum and was offering some gum. So you leave out these objects to connect with those who have passed.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at Halloween, what are you doing? You're leaving
out candy
for children or whomever, and like they have not that we have passed physical form, but it's in that same light or that reverence.
I never thought of it like that. That's cool, Rashawn. I like that better. So I'm not gonna eat it. I'm gonna leave it for them.
Right. Yeah. So when you're building your altar, you leaving out the objects so that they can connect to, and
I got to go get an apple pie from Denny's for my father.
Exactly. Yeah. And what's crazier is I was talking to this lady. She's in Oakland. Gosh, I am so horrible with names, but I, I do know. I believe she was a either 4 diamonds or 4 of hearts. One of those 6 of clubs or 2 of diamonds. I'm like throwing out cards, right? But she was telling me, so the way that she connects with spirit is through food, you know, and she's a chef. Wanda, that's her name, Wanda. Wanda I don't know. I believe she's on Instagram, but she used to be on the Clubhouse.
She's a 2 of clubs.
She's a
If I
two.
remember, I think she's the 2 of clubs.
Yeah, she is a 2 of clubs.
I think she's a 2 of clubs, if I remember correctly. I remember her. She was used to be in the room with us.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And what's dope about the 2 of clubs, they have the Ace of Spades, right?
Mm-hmm.
And dead people
Mm-hmm.
and reverence. So yeah, so she connects spirits through the art of food. And she was telling me that my ancestors were thirsty and I need to, and they're asking for water and and some bread. My grandmother loved cooking. Like her bread was the best hand bread that I ever had. Like so, it's just amazing, the way that she connected those, like the food and those material things to my ancestor and advised me to leave out those things for, you know. Uh, so yeah, it's definitely a thing where you leave out food of your favorite ancestors, your favorite food of your ancestors for them to connect and know that you're still, expanding or showing reverence to them.
Yeah, I have on mine. I have my pictures of my grandparents. I have a friend that I was really really close with. She was a king of diamonds actually, and then my Izzy, my dog, my first dog. That was mine. And then my youngest daughter's grandmother. And then I have my papa and my papa loved baseball. And he used to take me to baseball games. And I have a baseball that we have that was signed and it has the date and that's on there right next to his picture. And then I bring flowers. I have water. And I also have it's also where my stones sit and my stone jewelry sits. I have flowers up there. Everyone's out and when I cook, because of my grandmother's, that's how I also connect. And look at me, see, I'm Italian. And when I'm making sauce or I make meatballs or anything Italian, I almost feel them with me, because that was a thing. As the granddaughter, I'd come and I'd pull up my little thing and I would be right there rolling meatballs or the dough and then eating as I went along. So when I cook, I very much feel them. But yeah, I my altar is right it's in my bedroom. And so I pass it every day, multiple times a day. And so I very much do honor that. And I'll switch it up. I need to clean it and I need to probably would be a good time to do it this weekend. Clean it up and just really, refresh it. It probably needs a nice refreshing. But yeah, I have that.
Yeah, that is dope. Yeah, and just the fact that you feel the energy, like when you cooking those things, and do you put it on your altar? You said you put some things other, you say you have water there, of course.
Water. I've brought fruit. Flowers are a bit, I'll definitely, when I buy flowers for the house, I take out some of them and I leave them on the altar for them. Candy, the older ladies always had a bowl of candy, and you come in and those little the Andes. You remember the Andes candy? Or the little sucker candies, the old little strawberry ones. You know what I'm talking about?
Strawberry paper. My grandmother had them in her menu.
I need to find those and put them on the altar for sure.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely there. But yeah, so yeah, my first dog. Someone commented, Izzy was my first dog's name. Yeah, that was my dog. She's up there. Her paw that was cemented when she passed is up there. I think her ashes are even up there, and it's in the windowsill because she always liked to look out at the squirrels. So I have her ashes in the windowsill so she can see the squirrels. But yeah, and what else do I do? I have like different like sayings. I think there's even some prayer cards up there, and there's money up. Like I have a thing of like coins that are up there. I have the actual. I got some. I do some things.
That
I
is
do
so.
some things.
And you think about the essence of Jupiter, Venus, right? Like I said,
Oh, hi, Lewis.
other than the beauty aspects, Venus is also food, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
so material things that we find value. You know,
That's Taurus.
it's
Feed
Taurus
me.
opposite, and Taurus is opposition of
The eighth
Pluto
house.
or
Yeah.
Scorpio, eighth
Mm-hmm.
house, and we think of that as the
Death.
dead, death. So the way that so that the physical and the non-material, right, and that how they both are in opposition and how they connect, you know, and the way that you connect with them is bringing these physical things to the dead. It's like
The mundane and the spirit. You know what I mean? Like from that. Yeah.
that is, I don't, that's just crazy. It just, that's amazing. And just to see how it actually works, you know, even within the cards as well, you know. So for the four of spades, where is the nine of hearts for them? That would be their what? Their nine
Cosmic lesson.
cosmic lesson.
It's the
Okay.
cosmic lesson, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. And today's a nine of hearts day.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Really? I wasn't even thinking of that.
Today's a nine of hearts.
Hearts. That's why I thought you brought it up.
No, no.
Sometimes he's just got them spidey senses over there. So I'm gonna go forest, because like the old trees in the forest are still connected to the new trees. Like even if a tree is completely like down, they're still sending energy to the stump of the tree because of the life that it lived and the interconnection that it brings to everything. So I always love it when the people are smart like the woods.
Yeah.
Bring down the
He's smart like the trees, man.
Yeah, smart like nature. I mean, come on.
I always think, say like
Do you have any paint?
that just what you're saying, even our ancestors, I think they connect with us, you know, like they also are teaching us from the beyond somehow. I think sometimes certain things are just way too coincidental, right? It's like this energy is pushing you to make you look at something, and that's how I look at the ace of spades, you know, and maybe even the four of hearts, and looking at the four of hearts, you know, is like that connection and that reverence, like who are you praying to? Like I always think, yeah, there's a God, but there's also, I think our ancestors are another form of life that we should be praying to, because they're helping us, they're guiding us, they're pushing us, making us look at things. Like I was getting a reading, and this girl she was talking about my grandmother, and they have this really like this sense of making me see certain things that I'm doing, you know, within my life career. And it's like, why aren't you like paying attention? That's kind of what the energy was. That's how she was sounding. Like they're adamant about telling her something, you know. So like they are actually, and think about work and spirituality in the four of spades, right? They are working on the other side for you, for your benefit in some type of way. And I think sometimes maybe it's like hard to say you're not listening. Like how do you listen to the dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the messages? But it's like these messages and things that they're telling you, and talk about messages again, sits the club transforming to the ace of spades, like the messages that they're sending to you and trying to force you to see things. So it's like this information, this inherited information. I look at inherited information as also like the information passed down from generation, or the people that have passed on as well, you know. Like however, how else do you inherit information? Like that saying within the textbooks and within like esoteric information, like it's like, how do you take on information from the past? Are you born with it, or is it inherited by lineage or family, you know, in some type of way? So that's just how I look at it. Not saying that's law, you know, but that's how I look at, because you was talking about the trees and passing down the information. I think our
Mhm.
are these elders who have roots in this physical, and they are passing down information to you as well.
Yeah, that's what my dreams are. I mean, I had something about an attachment between some people in my family and some things to do and for a ceremony and stuff like that. And I'm always assuming it's my elders. And then I had this, like, I know I should have known, but my grandson's a 9 of diamonds. So 7 of spades is his Mercury card. And that's why he and I connect and communicate spiritually like we do. Like, I mean, it's insane. Like, that kid's in the dreams. Like, I'm just like, what's going on here? And there I was like, wow. So to me, that's another way that the children come and they're also connected or more open to that connection, right? Because they feel it more deeply, like remember things more closely. Because I definitely experienced that some things, whether it's when I'm sleeping or in the woods, are trying to like help guide the ship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, my niece is a 7 of spades, and it's very interesting um when she was like at 6 or 7, she was telling my brother that she has a brother somewhere. She has another sibling. Um, my brother finds out that he has a son who is 5 years old, and
Wow.
no one knew, but it seemed like she knew somehow, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, what's that connection? What was that spiritual connection? And I say that because she's a 7 of spades, March. Um, that's Pisces, right? So she's a 7 of spades, Pisces. And I
Oh,
always say,
definitely knew.
Yeah, right.
They probably connected. She probably dreamed her, you know. And I mean, honestly, she probably dreamt her. And then think about where the 7 of spades sits, Uranus, Jupiter. So, I mean, that is like really getting like, you know, those higher messages and downloads for sure, for sure.
But then you got your Queen of Spades when the 9 of diamonds is the Venus. And then what is the next one after that one? The Jupiter is the 7 of spades. So he's really connected to my Queen of Spades granddaughter. They have this like really interesting connection. I'm seeing it here going, boy, I never thought to look at how these two connect.
She's the Queen of Spades.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Mars card. The 7 of spades is the Mars card to that.
There's flags there.
Mm-hmm.
and we also always think of Mars as like this combative, this war energy.
Right.
But if you can put it in good use, it can be something that can inspire and push you, you know, and push your drive or to wherever it may be. So that 7 of spades in that Mars card, I think, really pushes that spiritual influence, you know, looking at things in a different type of way, you know, and connection, building that connection between you, people, or whoever, drive the importance of a work relationship or spirituality. Because, you know, of course, that we're talking about spiritual things on the 4 of spades. The space is the essence of spirituality. And I think because of that, it's the ground, it's the earth, it's the physical. And just commenting on shows like that Capricorn Taurus dynamic as well, you know, with physical and spiritual. So I think that's that connection possibly, you know, between them two. So that's really dope, you know, to see. The Queen of Spades is the teacher, you know, she's the ultimate spirit, you know.
It's my card today.
Oh, nice.
And my it's my Jupiter day actually. So I was like, "Ooh, I'm excited. I like that energy." And the moon just moved into Aries, so it's like I feel like I want to get work done. Like I've gotten really good with the moon energy, and I appreciate certain placements because I can feel the fire. I can feel that drive, and and that Queen of Spades is a part of work, you know. So I'm definitely willing to put in the work because I know that it comes with a lot of reward, you know. So yeah, that's my card today. So it's interesting. Mars, like you said, like Mars to me, you know, like you said, yes, it's that warrior, but it's very, you know, it's connected to that Pluto energy too at times. So there's a lot of, there can be transformation in that, you know, because the Mars is going to give you the drive, I think, to, you know, go forth without the fear, with more of a warrior type, you know, essence, so that you can take on the challenges that are going to bring the transformation.
Right, exactly. And then that's looking at it from that point. So, who's older between the Queen of Spades and the Seven of Spades?
Who's older?
Yeah, I was asking married.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know we know as far as spiritually Queen of Spades, but that's why I was asking within their relationships older
Are you
because
talking about me? You're
yeah,
asking me that question? Hold on, hold on. She's older,
okay,
like a year older.
Do you have a Queen of Spades granddaughter?
Yeah, Spades was born in 2018, and he was born in 2019.
Queen of Spades, Nine of Diamonds are their cards. Oh wow, so they're connected to each other too.
Oh, when they first came together and stuff, it was like arm in arm, total in sync, just like melt like that. They were just, yeah, it was amazing. They very familiar with each other. So we've just been talking about sending energy to people when they're not around, like when mom goes away or when we don't see granddaughter or this or that, because what happens? Because he's like, he gets all upset, like, where do they go? And so I think this whole ancestor thing could be a fun thing to talk about, because he's definitely a lot more tuned into his spirituality than even me. Like, this kid every morning tells me stuff. I'm like, what is going on with this? So alchemy. I have a whole bunch of notes on alchemy, Gina. I'm going to be hitting you up in your class about family alchemy, because I've been seeing some really interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just like around these spade stuff, like this family had a 2 of diamonds and a jack of clubs, and I think theirs is the king of spades is their composite, and then they had a 10 of clubs daughter and a 3 of hearts son. So the family had like a king of spades, queen of spades, and then I remember what the other one was. And I was like, wow, what is their pull up for this? Because they were in the messes, like they were in the hot mess of, like, making choices that make everybody want to blow up. But yet their potential was so strong. And one of the members of the family could really see it and was talking about it in such a beautiful way that I was like, how is this person holding this way when all that is happening? And then I went and looked at the cards and the alchemy. I was like, boy, that's why, because he's got that king of spades dream in his heart and he doesn't want to let it go. So just, what's the possibility, how much space you need for things, because in the human experience, it's an interesting story in that one of the members of the family had a big change in their life, like 100-pound weight loss, and started to get different attention, and everything started to change. And like that kind of stuff happens all the time, where you recognize how stale something is when something else comes along that all of a sudden makes you feel alive. But it's really meant to be a catalyst to help the whole thing become alive again. But we can get distracted by it, whether it be shopping or gambling or a new love affair or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, but those things are all their own drug in a way. Like, they're all just distractions, because oftentimes the course is right there, but you have to be able to, like, refresh it, build the fire again, not let it get stale, not let it go out because of the mundane, but remember that there's a spark between the souls and the hearts. So I don't know,
family dynamics, they're definitely
amazing.
They, when you start to see the cards that travel together, I've noticed, certain patterns that I've noticed, in different families. So, and then seeing, taking all of their energy together and seeing what that even, gives them, that would be.
I wondered about that. How do you do that? I was
the same way.
You add up all the numbers and then you take away, like, double 52 if you have
until it reaches 50. Yeah. Until it reaches below 52. Yeah.
Oh,
you can take every single one of them and then add them together and minus 52 until you get to the, that number, the 52.
Oh, that's so cool. I'm going to play with that.
Yeah. And that will help, I think, too, because then you'll see what they all bring together.
Yeah, I love that, Gina. Family alchemy is real. For true. So yeah, so making altars, connecting to the others. And then I guess I'm also wondering, what do you guys think about intentions when you do that? Because I hear what you're saying. You're giving them something, you're saying thank you, but is there like a time home, like J-Lo? Hey, J-Lo. He's talking about staying home, staying close to home, staying close to yourself, like to help it be a deeper experience potentially.
I mean, I think for me, like I feel like, you know, that 4 hearts, that 4 of spades, you know, it is about feeling protected, feeling safe, because they're cards of complacency, of overcoming, and groundedness and stability. But, you know, so what is in your 4 walls? You know what I mean? Is there clarity? Is there peace? Or is there, you know, the other side of that 4 energy can get stuck. It can be real rigid. You know, it's hard for them to kind of get moving. And we have to think about, if 4s are like a building energy, you can't build I talk about this all the time. You can't build a house overnight, and you have to, you know, lay that foundation, and that foundation has to be smooth. You don't want cracks. You don't want, you know, any unevenness. And like, same thing, like you have to lay that cement, you have to let it dry. You can't just go and throw up some walls on some wet ass cement, or you're gonna, you know, your house is probably gonna fall down. So you know, it's one step at a time. And so, you know, we can go back to, you know, when 2020 happened, which was a 4 hearts year, and we were kind of forced to come home. And that was, you know, you had to really, you know, look at the 4 walls in your home.
That's a good point, Gina. That's a great reference. Yeah.
And do the work. Some people don't like being home. Some people used outside, you know, escape from home, but you kind of had no choice but to be home and face those, you know, those family things, and face each other, and maybe even find ways to connect with each other, because, you know, in the times that we're in, everybody is connected, but they're not, you know, via whatever distractions. And so that 4 energy really does, you know, want you to be in clarity and at peace. Because, you know, think about, like, the 4 of clubs is the card of like mental peace and clarity. So add all the other suits, the hearts, you know, peace in your heart, peace in your family, peace in your home, the clubs, peace in your mind, the diamonds, peace in your, you know, your prosperity, your abundance, and your values, what's important to you, and then the spades, your work, your health, your spirituality. Who are you? You know, and are you even content and satisfied with that? And if not, that's the thing. 4s, I think, are that Uranus energy will knock that shit down and build it back better. You know what I mean? If there's a crack, if there's a break, then okay, that's the beauty of it. Bulldoze it and start. That's what Uranus energy will bring, a whole bulldozer to whatever. If it's not stable, then when Uranus does come around, it will crumble. Right? So
makes sense.
If you have to build it, you know, and it's a very strong energy, like getting clear, and again, that sense of feeling at peace, feeling comforted, feeling protected. And, you know, as a Jack of Hearts, my transformation card was the 4 of Spades, and just figuring that out and really connecting it's helped me tremendously. Even this week, I was like, it's your transformation card week. You're going to be good. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, and it makes, when I really like think back on my life and all the upheavals that I've had, or just whatever, after I went through everything, I'm like, I ended up better. You know, you know what I mean? Like, so I have a different kind of just appreciation to be able to kind of see it all the way through. You know how I talk a lot about the transformation card, and it's huge for me. It's huge. Yeah. It's huge. Yeah. So I think understanding that and being able, and then think about it too. I sit Venus, Jupiter, and then I transform into Jupiter, Venus. I'm like, well, shit. That's actually like, so what are you tripping about? You know what I mean? Like, why are you so like out of your, you know, you're not stable. You're not, you know, you don't feel if you don't feel protected or, you know, solid, that's when everything can become
if you lose your faith in the interconnecting and the intelligence of everything, it's going to take a shaky part and get you, you know, shaken more. And then there's also just, it has to be, change takes time. And I think that instant gratification kind of tendency that came through us all, and the brats we are in recovery at times, instant gratification is by no means how things grow.
Right.
Just not.
Right. And it does. And that's the thing with the spades. When you think about the spade energy, it is in, you know, that having to really put in that work, put in that effort. It will come, but it's going to come when it's when on time. And you have to also trust in that too, you know,
And
but you have to put in the work.
what's not working, like you're saying, when something breaks apart, or you have some catalyst in your family, or somebody loses a job, like whatever it is, that's happening. You can redo it in a way that actually works better. Do you know what I mean? It's happening for you when that stuff happens.
Oh yeah. Sometimes we don't, and in the midst of the Uranian wrecking ball, we don't see we don't see that the purpose of the knocking it down is so that you can have it back better. I know I sound like a political person, build it back better. But it is
running for office. Cards, gotta buy the cards. It's gonna run the country.
That would be fun. I actually would have yeah, I would rock this whole world.
Nice.
But we'd have fun, that's for sure. But yeah, I think that you don't see that the tear down is actually beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It really is. Because then you can, you know, you may not have known that there were cracks, or what, you know, like a boat, if there's a hole in your boat, you know, you're going to sink.
Or wondered where the energy was leaking, or what's not right. Something doesn't feel right. Like, yeah, it looks all good, but something doesn't feel right, you know? And then when things fall apart, you're like, oh, look at that. There was a big hole there that nobody knew was there because so-and-so doesn't, you know, that kind of stuff. You know?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. To me, that 4 energy, you know, it's powerful, and I welcome it, you know, for myself, just because of the transformation, and when I can just sit and not like stress about certain things, like I really see, I'm like, you're gonna be good. It's working out for you, and it kind of changes how you know, see things. And but it does, you have to put in the effort too. Like, you just can't not work to, you know, have that, you know, that satisfaction, I think too. But I think you're right. Instant gratification has become detrimental, because it's like, we want it now, and we want it, you know, we didn't want to really have to put in the effort to get it. And then when it doesn't come, now we're all pissy because it didn't come.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been applying to a girls program to work part-time, because I feel the experience will deepen my understanding of what's happening with young people right now. And in the past, when you get involved in programs and systems, you know, rehabs and hospitals and such, it's like a hunger and hurry up, we got to have you, we need this. And I was so grateful to feel from them and tell them from me, like, this is going to be a slow thing. I want to watch. I want to see this. I want to come in like that. And that was me being 59 and being able to use what I understand about foundations in my 4 Spades weeks, saying, yes, I'm willing to start something different and add it to my life, but I want to do it with grace and a certain kind of like pace that I can manage, and not overrun me to where I can't trust me. Because I think the bottom line to the whole card game of everyone and everything, you got to be able to trust yourself.
Yeah.
So be yourself. And I know if you ask me to do more than I can do, or stretch and bend me and put me all over the place, yeah, I'm still there, but things can go a little left, or I can be like off somewhere else, or I just getting pissed because I'm not in grace. I'm not in balance.
Mm-hmm.
So I think being able to trust yourself is the key to being able to unlock more of who you're here to be, because otherwise you have some type of a personality or system to kind of hide something about yourself, you know, and then that's where the energy's going, because whenever we're trying to hide anything, it's taking energy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the 4, you know, that 4 Spades energy. But the other side of that 4 is the complacency, the unwilling to move, the unwilling to change, like getting stuck in your 4 walls. You know, I think that's another thing too. You have to be very mindful, because most of them, I think, transform into 5s or have 5s as karma cards. So there is, come out of your box, grow and expand your security, your foundation. It's okay. You will, you know, I think they have a harder time to embrace that 5 energy. I think that it's more challenging for them. But once they really can, that's, I think, one of their biggest like transformations is to be able to really open up to the 5, open up to the expansion, open up to the more, so that you can grow and grow, in a more and still feeling stable.
That's
Still feeling
exactly what it's
strong.
doing. That's exactly, because last week was the circles touching circles and the mentoring for the women and the moon dance stuff. And now this week is the job and laying down that. And that'll help me expand and travel more, because also when, they're going to offer me money, like in the past, I'd be like, oh, okay, because I'm always trusting money are going to come. Like my son told this funny story to me the other day. He says, my friends who said to me, Mom, like, what's your mom like with money? He says, she's ridiculously, like, just seems like she doesn't care. But for as long as I've known her, she stands on her feet and it always comes back and she always gets what she needs. Like she has this undying faith in money that it just always comes back and she always has it. So in that way, that's like but I said to them at the job, I said, I don't want to play like that. I do have faith, but I have value and I'm a resource. Like one of the weird questions that my grandson asked me goes, I keep hearing inside of me to ask you, what's a resource, Grandma? What's resource? Do you know what I mean? And he's 4. Like it's like we were all like, where did he even hear this word? He goes, I keep hearing inside of me to ask your mother, ask your grandmother, what's resource? So then as I'm going for these positions and jobs, and I have so much experience, and it's like, oh, I'm a resource and I have value. And so, no, I can't work for $40 an hour. Like you can't give me any less than $60. Like it has to be this because I'm worth that. That's what I bring. Mm-hmm. But like as a younger person and just wanting to help and this and that, I wouldn't even think to push for more. I'd just be like, oh, that's kind of cool. I can have this and this, like a little bit here, a little bit there. It's like, well, no, I can have more because I'm worth more. Mm-hmm. So 7 of diamonds here makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And teach him, he's his resource.
That's exactly what I did.
Teach him as he's his own resource. He's his own plug. He's his
We're having a ceremony tomorrow. We've been planning the whole altar, how he becomes a resource to himself. Yeah, exactly what we're doing at the fire tomorrow. So you're right on, Gina.
Yeah, there was someone who posted, I'm going to pull it up because I don't want to say it wrong. And this goes, beyond money. It's beyond, it's just your own. Hold on, give me 1 second. Because it was just so perfectly timed, and I've been actually sharing it with other people because I feel like it's beneficial for others to hear. If I can find it, where are you? But it was basically, again, you're not making the money you deserve because you don't feel like you deserve it. Simple. Like you said, if you don't feel you're worthy of it, you will not attract it, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's success, whether it's whatever. If you don't feel you are worthy of it, then you will not have it. So again,
when it comes to this kind of work, I definitely know my values. So it's easy. Like if somebody, tried to give me a card doing the cards or something like that, I may be like, let me just learn a little bit. But when it comes to this game, I'm like, no, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready to teach people who they are from the inside out and teach those girls yoga and get them moving in grace. I'm in.
Yeah.
But it's worth cash, and I want it.
It's just like a king of diamonds.
And like I wasn't always like that. I don't know if it was my own insecurities, but like I'm so like, well, even with all the stuff we've done, I'm not the one saying pay me. I'm like, okay, I want to come and I want to learn, but I have to recognize that I've learned some stuff now. I'm 59. Done this for a long time, and I'm paying attention more than I even thought I was.
Oh yeah, that's what this will definitely teach you is. I think that's one of the biggest things I was talking about it this week is, the biggest gift that these modalities, whichever form you're using or all of them, which is beautiful, you're learning yourself.
They're meaning makers.
Yeah, you learn who you are. And that is probably the most valuable thing you can learn is your strengths, your weaknesses, your wounds, your healing, your challenges, all of your squares, your oppositions, your challenging cards, whatever it may be, having a better, understanding of that is really just, it helps you. And I think that then also, shows you, your value, your worth, your power. And I think for anybody, because when you think about the Queen of Spades and the King of Spades being the most powerful cards in the deck, and they represent mastery, but they're the master of yourself. It's all it is seeing.
That's right, girlfriend.
It's seeing yourself as that royal queen or as that royal king, and that comes from within. It's not dictated by what's on the outside, because the outside will reflect what you feel on the inside anyway. So again, if you don't feel you're deserving of it, it will not. You set the tone. That goes to those sevens, and from the very inside out. So
Yeah, I had a really I have a real hard time with that, um, for whatever reason. And I know it's age, and me putting in time, because it's Saturn. You got to look at all the diamonds. We come from that Saturn line. On the majority of them are in Saturn. Am I losing y'all? Am I here?
What are you saying, Rashad?
Maybe, yeah, maybe we lost Gina. Just Gina.
Well, she'll come back. But
But yeah, it's
what
yeah,
were you saying though?
yeah. Yeah, I was making sure because I was going through the mountains. But yeah, it's Saturn, So whenever you're looking at the diamonds, they're all in the Saturn line, So that's where you're in training.
And what do you think? The new boss? She's an 8 of clubs, my Saturn.
You say your boss?
Sorry.
Oh, that's dope.
Well, the new job that I'm going to take. She's an 8 of clubs Saturn, my Saturn card. So.
Oh wow,
Go ahead.
Yeah, that is that.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna be getting a lesson. She's gonna really challenge you and really I know you have your self worth, but she's really gonna build the give you a blueprint, of and solidify that self worth,
Yeah, I've been working in an all girls program. I told you I come in ready to learn, honey. You show me what you know.
Exactly, and that's the job of Saturn, and if you resist it, that's when you have the hard time with Saturn. When you're in resistance of the lesson and of the growth and of the challenges that you're going through, because it's that literally iron sharpens iron. It's like, what are you growing? Where are you building to? And these diamonds, if you look at it in the spiritual spread, they transform into spades. So that whenever Gina was talking about the King of Spades, so that whenever you become the King of Spades or Queen of Spades, or it's from the diamonds of this trained gift or these abilities, because values can fluctuate, they can change, you can go from one job to another. I'm a third diamond, trust me. I said Mercury, Saturn. So if but if I don't put the time in, and um, I'm fluctuating, I would never find my value if I haven't trained and haven't put in the time in a craft, So that Saturn line and the diamonds, their job is to understand and find where they are valuable at, because if you don't, you're just gonna be this lost soul, without no type of skill, without no type of mission, So the diamond's mission is to find where you're valuable at, where are you training, where are you putting in the time to groom yourself and find that value. That way you're not sitting in self-pity, or you're uh, not and I don't have an issue with the seven of spades of not knowing my value. That's my biggest thing with the seven of spades is that even, but again, another side is confidence, like that Capricorn, and needing the praise from other people, and sometimes we as humans have to work on that, because sometimes people do put in the time, they do have the skill set, but they need praise, they need appreciation, they need camaraderie from other people, and they need to work with other people to find that value or see how valuable they are, you know so value isn't always a skill set, it's a mindset as well, you know and that's one thing that I truly have to look at and work on, is my mindset around the things I'm valuable on. But also, I have to understand that I'm young, and I do have to put in time and I do have to go back to school and get trained in certain things. But that's Saturn, right? It's the training, it's the time that you under, like you said, it's the leadership that you under, who's helping you fight through these particular things and see these particular aspects. But yeah, all the diamonds in spiritual spread go through Saturn primarily, and they're working and they're transforming into spades, which is the spiritual work that we're here to do on Earth. So I remember one time you were saying that our job, you feel like your job is the spiritual work. What was that you were saying? Was something of that nature, right?
It says my partner is my business. My spiritual partner is my business, like my
Right.
work, right? And it's funny, in this place that I went to, the all girls program, what they're looking for and what I'm going to do is be the person teaching the morning wake up, the spirituality, the growing from the inside out. What's your foundation of your core beliefs? Like, I'm just me being me. But like you also mentioned, this 4 going to 5, like, I want the camaraderie. I need the bigger thing. And I'm going to learn stuff I've never learned about horses. They do equine therapy. And it was so interesting, Rashad. They shared that the horse is a mirror, which, I love that concept. And that responds to all the energy of the girls. So the girls learn to like regulate and learn their emotional terrain by the way the horse responds to them. So that's like another thing that I get to kind of experience. And I've really been wanting to get back on a horse for a long time. When I was younger, I rode horses, and I haven't in a minute. So who signed me up for this? Says J-Lo. So I'm excited for the learning that will come and being able to bring the piece that is mine to bring. Because I think that pure spread to me is the energies all working together where they go and doing what they do, right? Like doing your gifts the way you do your gifts.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's gonna open you up. It's like you signed up for this. That's why I did it. It's like you signed up. Like this is gonna be another. That's a whole lesson in your spiritual journey, in your spiritual growth. You know, and working with the animal or the horses. And I think I always think that we always have this. There's a spiritual connection. We always can learn something from animals. They have always been used as totems and different type of religious practices. So that in itself is something something there for you, to learn and to see within in your spiritual work. And
Oh yeah,
I,
and my grandson's favorite animal is the horse, and he's been talking about the horse. He's like, we've just been having this weird game where whenever we talk about something happens with it. We're like, wow, this is really interesting. So yeah, life is moving in a very like magical way, right?
no, yeah, I was just talking the other day, especially with me with the Ace of Spades. That is the I feel like spirit. I'm always being moved by spirit and speaking to it. And my life is spiritual. I have the Ace of Spades, Mercury. Like so, when I say something, I have to be careful, or I'll just have to wait until it happens. Like, eventually, it's going to happen because that is the spiritual work. Everything starts from the word. It, space and everything in the essence is created from the Om, from the vibration. So we are ultimately connected to the vibration and to our voice and to that. I'm trying to think of what the human design. I seen Luis say he was in here earlier, and also Jayla. They know as far as within the human design that the vocal box is Gina says she hit something. Oh, she may be in the back office. No, she's not there. Yeah, your vocal box is a connection to the physical, somehow. So yeah, it's very important, to listen to the voice, your inner voice, and things that you speak to, because it's going to correlate to your physical experience. I was just listening to something at some Ra Ku. He was talking about 4321 and the rotation of Jupiter around the sun, or I forgot exactly. I don't want to misquote him. He's very adamant about taking on his lessons and seeming like an expert, but we all are becoming experts from the art of listening, but it's experience in yourself is the real teacher. Like we are saying, the diamonds, the work, the experience is the teacher. That's where the wisdom is, you know. So taking that the word and taking it and bringing it into the physical, or observing it in real time is the spiritual work. But yeah,
Yeah,
the
when I was negotiating out the money with them, I literally took off like $10 or $15 an hour, saying this experience is part of what's going to help me grow who I'm here to be. So I want to give you that value too. You know, like I have a value for what I bring, but this experience is going to help shape me. And that shaping is going to be part of my new world as I do the sisterhood circles touching circles and the moon dance and knowing young girls and the new generation. Like I need this classroom too, so in that way I'll meet you in the middle a little bit. So I agree.
yeah, and then they can take that money and reinvest into you. You know,
Yeah, because they're all
you,
about what do you want, what kind of things do you want to do here, what kind of stuff do you need. So I think it will work out like that. I really do. And and it's a six of diamonds, the place. Like I looked up the card of the.
oh, I was just thinking of that. That is exactly what I was thinking about.
That's exactly what I did. You taught me, Rashad. I really do pay attention. I just look a little flaky. It's a front, but yeah, it's six of diamonds. So that'll be great.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying, yeah, you taught me to look up the cards and numbers, these things. It's a six of diamonds. I said I'm excited. It feels like that's the good direction for me right now.
And speaking of that, again, in the four space week, you know, it's like, even I was just thinking like that six of diamonds, four space, like our ancestors pushing us, like investing us, and so when they return, they can receive that value. You know, I think value is something that's infinite, and the flow of energy. You know, you what you reap is what you sow. You know, it's like your ancestors and the energy they're investing into you because they know they're gonna have to return to this physical. You know, so it's a return of value regardless. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we all are here for, is and return the value onto someone else. So and the six of diamonds pushes the four spades. So within this week, that's, you know,
That's
within
crazy.
this situation, it's inevitable for you to look at it like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So amazing.
I tell you, spirits got away, and the cards are part of it.
But I do have one way to work. I want to. I wish I want to be on camera as well. I don't know if you have things to do,
No, yeah,
but
we
yeah,
gotta go. I gotta go. My 8 o'clock happened to cancel today, so I wasn't running off. But yeah, we can wrap up. And it looks like, as far as the Tuesday goes, it's not really coming together. I tried to make it later, and then I couldn't open it. So I might just like let the card table be quiet and maybe do it one Friday afternoon, like when I'm hanging out in the garden, like do it at a more pleasing time again, because it used to be a great time for me, but it's really not. But in Clubhouse is not as much fun as it once was, but I do know people know us from there, and it's been some great conversations. So there's certainly lots of recordings of people to listen to, because there's a lot of great information that's been tracked there. But I am looking for another time of the week to do a Clubhouse. That Tuesday night just doesn't really feel like it's going to work. And now I'm like revamping my whole schedule to kind of figure out how to do my practice and the part-time job and stuff. So, but I will continue with this for sure. And hopefully we'll find another time for the Clubhouse. We can talk about that.
yeah, no problem. I know the like you said, Tuesday and your move has changed a lot for you. And then again,
Yeah.
Clubhouse isn't the same.
Yeah.
We have, like you said, people that know us on them, but the energy is different. So maybe there's a different type of game plan that needs to come from the Clubhouse. The YouTube, I think, is good,
Mhm.
but maybe turning the Clubhouse into some type of podcast where it's not
Yeah,
about
we got
you.
to figure it out. Yeah, we'll let it happen. Yeah, I agree, Rashad. I agree.
So no problem. If and again, you all join. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all next week for the Five of Spades week, which is
Woo-hoo.
we'll see how that
Yeah,
goes.
make your altars and get quiet and try to find out what it is that your ancestors loved, and like feel that connection to everything that came before you and everything that comes, and get quiet on this time and see what you can learn about who you are and why you're here, so you can live that mastery and grow so super clear and true.
Yeah. And there is news during the Three of Spades week. I started my work. That's one thing I went earlier last week was I started work in education, being a sub for right now. Then accelerating, they're going to accelerate my education in whatever field I want to be in going forward. And that was started in Three of Spades week. So there is so I am working, trying to
Nice.
find purpose and again going through my journey and learning my my spiritual work, doing my spiritual work, right, and growing, and the files is about growth, right. So yeah, there is a, a essence of everything is working for the betterment of our growth, and what we're
I
here to
agree.
experience, and that is a part of the five of spades.
And you always do new things. Like, look at how you have the whole board going across now with the birthdays and stuff. I tell you, Rashad, you always get a little bit smarter and fancier and stuff and make things better. So I do see you as a character always learning and improving at whatever you do. So I trust that'll continue to be what happens.
Yeah, it's a long journey until graduation, and I can say that I've gotten more patient with myself than I was before. And I think that could be one of the three of diamonds things, is impatience. I can be a little impatient with myself. I was in the past, and I do have to know that it is a journey, it is a long journey, and I'm here learning. So and there's no perfection in that journey, as well. So it takes a lot of patience. So yeah, less worries, more patience.
Bring it on, bring it on. We were just joking about that with my daughter-in-law's at Three of Diamonds. It's like, you're a pretty powerful manifester, and I'm noticing that what you worry about is happening. So I'll switch that up because I think you could turn that around, and focus on something different because we don't want to create the worry. We want to create the magic or the possibilities and the curiosity to see how it wants to work out. But her mind can sometimes be, just go right to those bad things that could happen and then say it. I'm like, oh no, don't do that. Like one night I didn't sleep at night because of something she said, and I was like, oh my god, this girl's so powerful. Like I always sleep, so I was joking with her. I was like, I got to be careful with what you say over there. It's really affecting me. So it is a very powerful thing what we speak when we have certain cards and positions. So our focus is our it's everything. Where we put our focus is our power.
Yeah, and for the three of diamonds specifically, that ace of spades, nine of spades, I think is a completion. Like we want to come here with the mission. And find out what that mission is, and so we can focus our time and our energy from Mercury, Saturn time energy, and completing whatever it is that and being fulfilled and reaching that satisfaction or getting that peace of mind ultimately. So we can sleep.
I guess so. I guess so. So I mean, and I'm learning that too. I appreciate it. I mean, the drive and the passion is powerful. It's intense, but it's pure at a certain level too. So it's all good. Life's a classroom, and I'm happy to be in it.
Yeah, so that was amazing. I appreciate y'all. And there was so many things, and I'm so lack on reposting to Instagram because it's so much information. I want to snip out almost every second for the YouTube.
Today was a good one for the Forest Spades Week. There's a
Yeah,
lot of good stuff. You'll have fun with that.
that is, man. These conversations are amazing. To be honest, I wouldn't be able to do it without y'all, and I'm
Yeah.
truly of what we're doing here.
I
Uh,
love it too. I love the weekly card thing, and I love getting to stay connected with you and Gina. And I really do trust so deeply that, however we were aligned, whether it's human design and cards and otherwise, that we will continue to do work in the way that we were intended.
yeah. So I don't hold us longer. So appreciate you, and I'll talk to y'all next week.
All right.
And we'll
Peace, Rashad. Thanks, everyone.
all right, bye.